What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Sorry, I'm all red-faced. I just carried in a shit ton of groceries and put them away. I'm a dinosaur. We got 3 subscribers last night. Dude, we have gotten 15 subscribers in the last week and a half. That is insane. You know, when I was at 50 and it took like 3-4 months to get from 50 to 100, and we went from 104 to 119 in a week and a half. That's all you guys, man. 100%. I know I've opened every video this week saying that, but it is. Y'all interacting on every video, you know. It's amazing, and I appreciate the support. We had a good time at stream last night. The headset sounds great. My voice sounded good. Chat wasn't really the greatest. It didn't really come in on the TV like it was supposed to. It did for a little bit, and then it didn't. And but I was playing a game that I could continuously refresh, you know, and so I was able to respond to every message. So I would say chat went good, and the stream was overall a success. Tonight, I'm going to stream on Xbox, make sure I get my mic and everything to the perfect level like it is on PlayStation, and then I gotta get back to work. I probably won't stream till next weekend, but I appreciate you guys being there. You know, I'm starting to average like 40, 50 views and actually accumulate points, and that is all you guys, man. I wanted to take a minute here to just be completely honest with you, be an open book. I'm getting kind of scared, you know? The larger we get here, the more concerned, like, I get about talking about, I don't know, serious subjects, you know? Like, I'm scared to speak my mind on certain things, and I have a couple video ideas that I've been wanting to do, but I'm scared to come out with because I don't want to disappoint you guys. I don't want to lose you. So if you're new, you know, this channel's got no subject. I open up about my life. Sometimes I give advice. Sometimes I talk about social commentary. Sometimes I talk about channels. Sometimes I talk about football. Sometimes I talk about Lego. Sometimes I do movie reviews. And honestly, I'm getting nervous. I don't want to lose you guys by coming out with a video that, I don't know, that you strongly disagree with or whatever. I mean, I've got my entire life story out there, and I hope you guys watch it. Those are the most important videos to me, you know, and which kind of helps you understand why I think the way I do, where I come from, and why I have these stances on certain things. And which leads me into what I wanted to talk about today. So I just went grocery shopping, as I just said, and I was checking out, bagging our shit, and we were at a checkout spot right by the line. And there was this family that said, "Look at homeboy over there at 3." And then I heard them, and then I turned around, and then it was a black guy bagging his stuff up, which is rare here in good old Branson. And then they said, "Homeboy is in the wrong place." I am not fucking kidding. Like, they had to throw in homeboy twice, but then said homeboy is in the wrong place. They had 3 kids, and the woman, not only were both of them probably 1,000 pounds put together, but the woman was wearing a shirt that said "Strong Women Pray." Talk about forcing your beliefs on others, huh? Because that's implying that weak women do not. I would argue that, you know, strong women aren't going around saying that a black person is in the wrong place for simply existing, and then, you know, get on your knees and ask for forgiveness every night like you're a good fucking person, when in reality you're not. I would call that being pretty goddamn weak. You just need comfort to believe that you're a good person when really you're not. That's being pretty weak-minded, no? I mean, I'm all for being Christian, but when you're wearing shirts like that, you are implying that somebody's weak for not praying. And then I know good and damn well if I would have turned to them and not only said that what they were saying about that black man was wrong, but her shirt was also, and so women are weak if they don't pray. I bet you if I would have asked that one sentence, she would have been, wow, I'm getting persecuted for my religious beliefs. No, you're being persecuted for forcing your beliefs on others. You're a fucking asshole. You're acting like you're holier than thou because you get on your knees and pray at night after literally stating that a black person shouldn't exist. Do you think God's doing fucking backflips for you right now? Like, we live in the dumbest timeline, dude. I can't believe I heard that shit. I can't believe they said that shit right in front of their 3 kids. And, God, dude. They looked related, but whatever. And that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'm going to talk about shit like that, and that's going to piss some people off, but the reality of the situation is it shouldn't. Like, to watch a family of 5 parents who are supposed to be guiding these 3 kids, teach them knowledge, teach them about the world, clearly act so prejudiced. No, let's call it what it is, racist. There's a difference between the two. To clearly act so racist right in front of their kids, they ain't shying away from it at home. I also find it funny that the guy was wearing a fucking American flag as his t-shirt. Nothing more patriotic than shoving Christianity down your kid's throat and taking away their choice to fucking follow in their own footsteps, am I right? Freedom. Nothing says freedom quite like implying that a person literally shouldn't exist because of their skin color. Yeah, how patriotic. And that's what I mean. Sometimes we're going to talk about shit like that on this channel because that's what I have to encounter daily. I could not imagine being a fucking minority, dude. And so, I hope that doesn't lose you. I hope that doesn't piss you off. But, it pisses me off that I can't even go shopping without seeing a holier-than-thou couple that clearly has no business having kids. They have nothing to offer there. Sit here and say that a black person shouldn't exist for just bagging items. There's not a lot of black people around here, and that sucks, It's mostly... I love how every racist that I've encountered in my life that thinks that we're the superior race is usually like 400 pounds, 30, and looks 70, and looks like he's married to his sister. Like, I'm not trying to be mean here. That is a genuine fucking just observation. I guess those superior genes took a day off for you, huh, homie? But just I don't know, man. The fact that I can't just go to Walmart and shop without some stupid shit like that happening. Yeah, that's why I do social commentary videos, even if it hurts my channel, because fuck that. Now, when I made my transgender for a day video, I had an awesome debate with an awesome subscriber with a couple of you, and I thought a lot about the conversations we've had, and I'm going to try to word my response to that advice the best I can. I completely agree you shouldn't force your beliefs on others. I agree with that statement. I do not agree with the statement that you should respect everyone's opinions, right or wrong. I don't. I'm sorry. If you watched my childhood video, you'll know why. Because I literally had to listen to my stepfather sit here and talk about genocide. So whenever you say respect someone's opinion, that's the first thing I think of, is that there's people out there who literally think we should commit genocide on an entire group of people. Now that is imposing your beliefs. And I think there's a difference between imposing beliefs and spreading knowledge. Now, There's a difference between coming home and making a video about it and confronting them in person. Like the subscriber said, setting has a lot to do with things. Had I have said to them directly, hey, what you're saying is wrong, also your shirt is kind of making yourself a little holier than thou, then yes, I think that would be imposing my views, but that's not what I did. I came home and made a video about it to spread knowledge as to why this is wrong. And I don't look at that as imposing people's views. So when I say I don't think you should respect everyone's opinion, I don't mean you should confront them in person and interject your opinion into their lives. Like, I'm just saying, like, their opinion, I do not respect. I don't agree with it at all. And all I can do is talk about why. And I hope that makes sense. No, I shouldn't respect their opinions because that isn't an opinion. That is a fucking it's a horrible belief based around being undereducated and disregarding facts. Being willfully ignorant is a choice, and being bigoted, prejudiced, whatever it may be, usually comes from lack of education or ignoring the facts. And in my opinion, if you're going to choose to be racist knowing that that's wrong, I have every right to shit on you for it. Especially when you're imposing those beliefs on your own children. It is 2025. How long have humans existed? And I can't just simply go to the store without seeing people being horrible. And I'm not even the one that experienced it. I just overheard it, so I couldn't imagine. Thankfully, the guy didn't hear it, but like, just imagine having to deal with that. Having to deal with that everywhere you fucking go. And hilariously, I get called a bad dad by these people for saying the word fuck or sticking up for minorities and saying to shut the fuck up during Pride Month or Black History Month when you're shoving Bibles down your kids' throat, teaching them that black people are less than and doing God knows what, probably bragging on Facebook about how hard you spanked them. What great parents. I'm sure they're really good. I'm sure they're really great. I'm sure if that's what they say out in public, I bet they're really great behind closed doors. Have 5 more, please. Anyway, that's my point. I don't want to scare y'all away, but sometimes we're going to get into shit like this. Sometimes that's what I encounter, so that's what I'm going to talk about. No, I am not sitting here saying that you're wrong for being Christian. That is not what I said. No, I am not saying that you should force your beliefs on others. I'm just saying it is that if you can't even go out in public without seeing somebody be racist and act like just the shirt. Let's pretend they didn't make a comment about the black person. Let's just talk about the shirt. Strong women pray. You are deliberately trying to imply that if you don't pray, you're weak. Is that not wrong? Is that not imposing on someone's beliefs? That's fucking stupid is what that is. You could have said, wore a shirt that the power of prayer or like anything else. And that's fine. But to sit here and try to act like you're better than because you're Christian when really you're not Christian, you just fucking said that this person shouldn't exist. So no, you're not a Christian. You pretend to be in hopes that you can fool God and get into heaven, which isn't going to work. I don't think you would fucking fit anyway. And don't get me started on how those same people act like they get bullied for being Christian. I mean, that does happen, but 9 out of 10 times it's the other way around. And, yeah, that's wrong to me. There's a difference between calling that out and the hypocrisy of it and giving the facts that clearly an undereducated family with racist ideals and that's wrong. There's a difference between pointing that out as wrong and forcing my beliefs on others. And I I don't know. I don't think it's that black and white. Like, no, I don't think you should respect everyone's opinions. I don't think you should respect someone like Hitler's opinions or someone like the Las Vegas shooter's opinions. And I don't look at that as imposing my beliefs. It is a fact that black people are just as equal to us. I can't believe that's a sentence that I have to say out loud. So that's not a belief. That's something I know. That's not an opinion. That's something I know. You stating that black people are lesser than is a belief and an opinion built around factually incorrect shit and a severe lack of education and a severe lack of self-worth. So, I don't know, you know? Like, there is a wrong way to think, you know? And if pointing this out, pointing out the facts, pointing out why this is wrong leads to less people thinking that way, then I don't think that that's wrong. Like, I don't think that's imposing on people's beliefs, because that is a wrong way to think. You are factually incorrect. That black person is not lesser than you. So, no, I don't think that's imposing. I think wearing a shirt saying you're weak if you don't pray and stating that a black person shouldn't be in this state is imposing, if anything. Like, you're imposing on... You're giving your belief against proven facts. You're choosing to fucking think in this bigoted way despite the facts. That is where a fact becomes an opinion and becomes a false belief, and I have every right to point that out, so hopefully less people think that way. I don't think that that's a wrong thing to do, and yeah, I don't know how to word it, but there is a wrong way to think, and that is wrong. Not to mention, these people are literally forcing these beliefs down their kids' throats, which was done to me. So you are trying to spread factually incorrect information to your children or your buddies, and respecting everyone's opinions. That's what that leads to. This marker is red. That is a fact. I know this marker is red. It's not a fucking opinion to say that. Black people are just as equal as I am. That is a fact. I know that. That isn't an opinion or a belief. It is fact. Up for debate. They are. So, now, if somebody comes and says that this marker is fucking blue, right? That is a false belief. And then if I say, no, it's actually red, and I go down the color spectrum and I explain why this is factually red and not blue, we're leaving color blindness out of this for the sake of argument. That is not imposing my belief, imposing on there, sorry. That is giving the facts to somebody that has a false fucking belief. So, if you respect everyone's opinion, if dude comes up and says this marker's blue, and you're like, alright, well, we can agree to disagree, when you know that this marker is red, and then he goes and tells all his buddies that this marker is blue, that's a fucking problem. I don't think respecting everyone's opinion is a thing that you should do. No. However, not respecting everyone's opinions doesn't necessarily mean shoving your views down someone's throats. Me trying to explain to somebody that this marker is fucking red isn't trying to shove my belief down their throat. It's trying to feed them the facts, and whether they choose to believe it or not, that's on them, but I don't think it's imposing to try to give them the facts. I'm trying to state the facts so less people think that way. Now, if they choose to continue to think that the marker is blue, yeah, I eventually have to accept that, and whatever. You can't force them to see that the marker is red. And I know this is a shitty fucking metaphor, but I know what I'm trying to say. And, yeah, at that point, not accepting that and continuing to try to force it down their throats would be imposing my beliefs, even if I know my belief is fact. Eventually you gotta accept that people just ain't going to address the facts and ignore them, and that is where I think I am allowed to start shitting on them. Yes, but simply stating a video saying transgenders exist, or making a video like this where I encountered a racist family and pointing out how that's wrong, I don't believe is imposing my beliefs. And I for damn sure don't think that you should respect everyone's opinion when their opinion isn't even an opinion. It's a false belief built on factual, incorrect information and staying willfully ignorant. That doesn't mean interject your, that doesn't mean interject your thoughts and facts and whatever into their lives, but that's not what I do. I come home and I make videos. I didn't go up to those people and say, this, you're wrong for saying that, this, and your shirt's bullshit. No, I'm making a fucking video about it. So I'm trying to spread knowledge. I'm not saying, when I say I don't think you should respect everyone's opinions, I don't mean go up to everybody that, you disagree with and force your beliefs on them. I'm saying that there are opinions out there that aren't worth being respected because they're not opinions. Like, does that make sense? Like, I feel like we had a really smart conversation, and I'm trying to formulate this the best I can. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I get what you're saying. Respect everyone's opinions. I just don't agree with that statement, because there's people out there that literally think that we should commit genocide on people. There's people out there that think the fucking world is flat and that they're from the goddamn moon. And to give them the facts isn't imposing on their beliefs, it's giving them the facts. And if they choose to ignore those facts, then that's on them for choosing to... That is when a fact becomes a belief. It is not like the marker example. It is not a belief that the marker is red. It is red. I know it's red. I know the world is round. I know that black people are equal to white people. So if somebody ignores those things, says the opposite, and you try to give them the facts so less people think that way and state why it's wrong to think that way, to me, that's not imposing beliefs. That's trying to spread knowledge. And people have the right to ignore that knowledge. And in my opinion, if people choose to ignore the facts, especially in the cases of bigotry, I definitely think I have the right to talk about it and spread knowledge about it and try to teach people the facts and that you shouldn't think this way. Because yes, there is a wrong way to think. This is wrong. It is wrong that in 2025 people are openly racist in a fucking Walmart. Right? Like, look at TikTok. Look at all these conspiracy theorists, and they're literally... There's flat earthers out there right now on TikTok convincing people that the earth is flat. No, you shouldn't respect everyone's opinions. You should state the facts, not necessarily, shove it down their throat, but try to spread knowledge, and that's all you can do. And that's what I'm trying to do on this channel, and whether it pisses people off, whether they continue, they have the right to think however they want, but there is a wrong way to think, and disregarding facts for your shitty beliefs is not something that I'm going to respect. So I hope I worded that in a way that made sense. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support, and I hope this video makes sense. And it just fucking sucks that in 2025, I can't even go to the goddamn supermarket or do a job without getting one-starred for saying, hey, black people matter just as much as you. Basically, what it boils down to, guys, is individual thought is a beautiful thing. We are all unique, and it's beautiful that we all think differently. But there is a wrong way to think. There are definitely still ideals out there that need to be stomped out. And Like misogyny, for example, which is actually just getting worse. And it starts with trying to spread that knowledge. And that's all you can do, you know? Why is misogyny getting worse? Well, look at the influencers that are out there. Look at the OnlyFans models and look at the male influencers like Aiden Ross. I think that answers your question. The only thing that we can do is spread knowledge on what is fact and what isn't. And I don't think that that is imposing on someone's views. There's a difference between making a video about it, a difference in setting, and confronting somebody in person about it. And so I just don't look at these videos as trying to force somebody to think a certain way. And I'm not saying that if you encounter somebody that's racist or bigoted that you should interject your opinion or beliefs into their lives. Notice how I said I didn't go to the couple in Walmart and say this is wrong or whatever. I'm making a video about it. Like, I'm not saying don't respect people's opinions and shove your facts down their throat. Like, making a video talking about this stuff and treating somebody a certain way in the real world or challenging their beliefs in the real world in a setting is completely different. Even though, in my opinion, if you're going to wear a shirt saying you're strong because you pray, implying that people are weak if they don't, you are definitely opening the door for somebody to challenge that. My goal with making these videos is to hope to God to spread knowledge and to keep other people from being like these people. I hope that makes sense. I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. I really do. And I love you. I love your advice, and I love that we're able to have these conversations, and I hope that this makes some sort of sense. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll be on stream in a little bit. Love you guys. Bye.